Hey guys, my name's Gorge. I'm a Diamond 1 player on the North America servers, playing mostly jungle and support to get there. It's going to be my very first video guide. Today we're going to be talking about some of the super basic ward spots for early laning phase and mid game when playing on the blue side. The first ward I'd like to talk about is the Explorer ward. It is mainly used to obtain early vision on the enemy support. It not only allows you to land things like your poke and skill shot, it helps you avoid theirs. I drop this ward immediately in almost every bot lane I play. This next ward is an offensive pink ward. It will allow you to clear vision of enemy wards in their lane side bush. It becomes much easier to bully and poke lane enemies when they can't see it coming. I generally drop this ward when the minions are pushing towards them. When you are pushing enemies back, it generally means you can win an all-in 2v2 due to you having more minions. This makes contesting the ward very hard for the enemy. Notice the positioning. I keep it close to my side of the lane. If they were to pink the bush after I did, it becomes easy for me to contest it because I have so many minions and it's on my half of the lane. This is an offensive deep lane ward. It serves two real purposes, to stop enemy jungle lane ganks and grant vision of enemies as they enter the lane. The ward is very far in because it lets you see the enemy jungler sooner rather than a more pushed back ward would. Now we're going more on the defensive side. This defensive pink will allow you to clear enemy wards in your lane bush. It stops free poke due to lack of vision. I generally drop this if the lane is pushed out more. If the enemy has lane control and you cannot win a 2v2, you don't really want to drop this, they'll probably just kill your pink ward. Wait until you are able to push out, then take control of your side of the lane again. This ward is situational, you will not always be able to drop it. Generally you want to ward in this area if you're backed up to turret or close to it, and you're afraid of the enemy jungler. When enemies are pushing on you, they should have a pink in this bush for sure. The only time you can drop this ward is if you know they don't have a pink in the bush. You will see jungle lane ganks coming faster, and see poke coming towards you. The previous ward serves the same purpose, but is more aggressive. With a defensive pink ward, you can also offensively use it to poke. Dropping a green ward does not allow you to clear enemy wards in the bush, making this ward a solely defensive ward. Moving on from lane wards, this is the tri-bush ward. This ward takes a lot of knowledge to know when to use. It can be a waste of a ward if you're on blue side for a good amount of the game. If an enemy jungler wants to use this path to gank, they'll have to run all the way from your wraiths, wasting a good amount of time. And if your mid laner wards your wraiths, like they should, this ward becomes almost useless. If you have a dragon pit ward and a wraith ward, you really don't need this. The only other use of a tri-bush ward is to pink it for your jungler. It clears a great path for them to come and gank your lane. These are two examples of wraith wards. Usually your mid laner will do this, but if they don't, you may have to do it yourself, or you'll end up warding tri, and it's kind of a waste to have to do that. These wards allow you to see when enemies try to invade your jungle or come around from tri-bush. They're very good to have, but hopefully your mid laner can do it. This is just a typical red ward. You can put it in the tip of the bush so you can actually see the buff, but it's really just meant as a defensive ward so you can see people going through the jungle or trying to steal your buffs. It's pretty defensive, and I don't put it unless we are really getting pushed on, and generally you won't drop it unless you've lost the T1 bottom. This is a great ward, but may be hard to get. It's very deep. You can try to get it through lane, but that means you're in turret range and can really cause some problems. I show here I'm walking around from the river to get it. However you get it, it's a great ward. It can stop huge things like a Zac or the enemy Thresh from pulling someone in, Fiddle ult. It's a really good ward, but it's not easy to get. This is an offensive blue buff ward. It gives vision of the buff and anyone around it. The deeper the wards get and the more jungle entrances they show, the more likely you are of winning. When you can see the enemies and you have map control, you can make picks and make plays as support, and it makes the game so much easier to win. This is the J bush or the banana bush. It's a high traffic area and warding it is really smart. I may have failed the ward a bit, but the placement of the ward that I have is perfect. If you get it right in the tip around the middle of it, you can actually see more of the bush than if you were to put it on one side because of line of sight issues with the ward. Last but not least is probably the most common ward in the game, the Dragon Pit ward. I see this ward messed up more than any other ward in the game. The pink ward needs to be between the two signs. This allows you to see the back of the pit. If you want your jungler to have the best chance of not getting outsmited or having the dragon stolen, you don't want them to have vision of the dragon. So you need to ward closer in with your pink so you can clear the back of the pit. Now if it's a green ward and you're just warding for vision of the area and dragon, you can put it farther out so you can see more into the jungle ramp in blue. But the pink ward needs to be between the two signs. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to learn more about advanced support plays and warding, stay tuned for my future videos, and again, thanks for watching.